Heartbreak hurts. But what if I told you it could be the best thing that ever happened to your love life? The truth is, after heartbreak, you don't just heal, you evolve. And that growth is exactly why you attract better love the next time around. At some point, almost everyone goes through the gut-wrenching pain of losing someone they deeply loved or cared for. Whether it's the sudden end of a long-term relationship, the slow unraveling of a romance, or even the betrayal of trust, heartbreak has a way of shaking us to the core. It leaves us questioning ourselves, doubting our worth, and feeling like the future holds little promise for love. Yet, hidden inside the pain of heartbreak lies an unexpected gift. Though it feels like destruction, it is also a reconstruction. Though it feels like an ending, it is equally a beginning. The truth is this: heartbreak reshapes you, strengthens you, and refines your vision of love. And that transformation makes you capable of attracting a kind of love that is healthier, more authentic, and more fulfilling than anything you experienced before. In this episode, we'll explore why you actually attract better love after heartbreak. We'll look at the deep lessons heartbreak teaches you, the emotional muscles it builds, and the spiritual and psychological shifts it creates within you. By the end, you'll see heartbreak not as the death of love, but as the soil from which a new and better love can grow. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and join us as we turn heartbreak into healing. Let's dive in. 1. You know your worth now. When you fall in love for the first time, it often feels like stepping into a dream. You pour your heart out without boundaries, you give without question, and sometimes you place your entire sense of self-worth into the hands of another person. This is natural. Love is intoxicating and blinding at the same time. But when heartbreak strikes, the illusion shatters. Suddenly, you are confronted with how much of yourself you lost in the process. Maybe you realize that you tolerated mistreatment because you were afraid of being alone. Maybe you recognize that you abandoned your own needs and desires to keep the relationship afloat. Heartbreak teaches you the hard truth that your worth does not and cannot depend on someone else's love for you. It forces you to reclaim your identity, to rebuild your confidence, and to understand that you are valuable on your own. And here's the beautiful part. When you know your worth, you stop settling for half-hearted love. You attract people who see your value, respect it, and honor it. In future relationships, this self-worth becomes your anchor. It protects you from manipulation, empowers you to walk away from toxic situations, and ensures that the love you accept aligns with the love you deserve. 2. You recognize red flags. Faster. Heartbreak is often preceded by warning signs, red flags you either ignored, justified, or hoped would disappear. Maybe your partner was emotionally unavailable, manipulative, or inconsistent. Maybe they didn't treat you with respect or lacked the maturity to build something lasting. At the time, you might have dismissed these signs because of hope, desire, or fear of losing them. After heartbreak, though, your perspective changes. Once you've been hurt, you become far more sensitive to the early signs of unhealthy dynamics. Where once you made excuses, you now see patterns. Where once you silenced your intuition, you now listen closely to it. This sharpened awareness means that in your next relationship, you'll be much less likely to fall for the same traps. Instead, you'll protect your heart by recognizing incompatibilities early on. You won't waste years hoping someone will change, because you've learned the painful truth. Red flags ignored in the beginning only grow louder in the end. This doesn't make you cynical. It makes you wise. And wisdom is what guides you toward relationships that are healthier, balanced, and truly compatible. 3. You learn emotional independence. One of the hardest lessons heartbreak teaches is that you can live without someone you thought you couldn't. In the thick of a relationship, it's easy to fall into emotional dependency, believing that your happiness, stability, and future are tied to the presence of that person. But when heartbreak forces you to face life without them, you eventually discover something extraordinary. You are capable of standing on your own. You can create joy within yourself, find meaning in your own journey, and build a fulfilling life independent of someone else's presence. This emotional independence is incredibly attractive. Why? Because it shifts your energy from neediness to wholeness. You no longer approach relationships with the mindset of, I need someone to complete me. Instead, you approach with the mindset of, I am complete, and I'm open to sharing my life with someone equally complete. This shift changes everything. Instead of attracting people who exploit your dependency, you draw in partners who respect your independence and match your strength. It's the difference between love rooted in fear of loneliness and love rooted in genuine choice. 4. You become clear on what you want. In the wake of heartbreak, many people spend time reflecting on what went wrong. You replay moments, analyze behaviors, and often come to see the relationship in a clearer light than when you were in it. That clarity is a gift. It shows you what you don't want, which in turn sharpens your vision of what you do want. Perhaps you realize that passion without stability is unsustainable, or that compatibility matters more than chemistry alone, or that shared values are non-negotiable for a lasting partnership. Whatever the insight, heartbreak gives you the lens to see love with greater realism. This clarity means that in your next relationship, you'll be more intentional. You won't waste time chasing illusions or clinging to fantasies. You'll seek out a partner who aligns with your values, complements your lifestyle, and supports your growth. And when you know what you truly want, you attract it more easily, because your actions, choices, and boundaries all align with your vision. 5. You value healthy boundaries. Many people learn about boundaries the hard way, by giving too much, tolerating too much, or forgiving too much. Heartbreak often occurs when we allow others to cross boundaries that should have protected us. We allow disrespect, accept inconsistency, or compromise our peace in the name of love. But heartbreak rewrites that script. It teaches you that boundaries are not walls. They are gates. They don't block love. They protect love. They don't push people away. They invite the right people in. Boundaries are acts of self-love, and they ensure that relationships remain balanced and respectful. When you've been heartbroken, you learn to say no when something doesn't serve you. You learn to protect your time, your energy, and your heart. And in doing so, you naturally attract people who respect your limits and honor your needs. The result is a healthier, more respectful kind of love, one that uplifts rather than diminishes you. 6. You've grown through the pain. Pain, as much as we resist it, is one of life's greatest teachers. Heartbreak shatters you, but in the process, it rebuilds you. It forces you to confront your weaknesses, examine your patterns, and grow in ways you never would have without the experience. Through heartbreak, you develop resilience. You discover inner strength you didn't know you had. You gain empathy because now you understand the depth of human suffering in a way only heartbreak can teach. This growth changes how you love. You become more patient, more compassionate, and more understanding. You know what it feels like to hurt, so you're less likely to inflict that pain on others. And that makes you a better partner, someone capable of deeper, more authentic connection. Growth through pain also makes you magnetic. People are drawn to those who have walked through fire and come out stronger. Your scars don't make you unlovable. They make you relatable, inspiring, and profoundly human. 7. You radiate resilience and confidence. There's something undeniably attractive about someone who has survived heartbreak and emerged stronger. It's not about arrogance, it's about quiet confidence. When you've been through heartbreak and rebuilt yourself, you carry an aura of resilience. You no longer fear being alone, because you've been there and survived. You no longer cling desperately, because you know your value. You no longer beg for love, because you trust it will come to you naturally. This resilience and confidence radiate outward, making you more appealing to potential partners. People sense your strength, your independence, and your authenticity. And these are qualities that attract healthier, more secure partners. Those who are looking for an equal, not someone to control or fix. In short, heartbreak doesn't diminish your attractiveness, it enhances it. It takes the raw materials of your pain and transforms them into a glow that others can't help but notice. 8. The psychology of love after heartbreak. Beyond personal lessons, there's actual science behind why people often attract better love after heartbreak. Psychologists have found that heartbreak activates the same regions of the brain as physical pain. In other words, heartbreak is not just in your head, it's a real physiological wound. But like physical wounds, emotional wounds can heal stronger than before. Research shows that people who reflect on their heartbreaks tend to develop greater self-awareness. They gain a clearer understanding of their needs and desires, which helps them choose more compatible partners in the future. Additionally, going through heartbreak often boosts emotional intelligence because it forces you to deal with complex emotions and navigate grief. Neuroscience also points to the concept of post-traumatic growth. Just as trauma survivors sometimes emerge with a new appreciation for life, those who endure heartbreak often come out with a deeper sense of resilience and purpose. This growth translates directly into healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Heartbreak may feel like the end, but in truth, it is a doorway. It is the painful but necessary transition between the love you thought you wanted and the love you truly deserve. It strips away illusions, reshapes your heart, and strengthens your spirit. You attract better love after heartbreak because you become better, wiser, stronger, and more self-aware. The pain teaches you to know your worth, protect your boundaries, and seek out partners who align with your values. It gives you resilience, empathy, and confidence, the very qualities that make love not only possible, but beautiful. So if you are in the middle of heartbreak right now, hold on. This is not the end of your story. It is the prelude to a love that will honor the person you have become. The love ahead of you will not erase the pain of the past, but it will make that pain worthwhile.